who's back, bitches? Just like Robert Mugabe or Saddam Hussein or any other historical dictator who kept coming back, you can't get rid of me. You can't keep a shite channel down, alright? Now, I haven't uploaded in a while, and I thought, while I was pondering the innumerable, ineffable video ideas that have popped up into my very, very intellectually stunted mind, I thought I would do a combination of every single stealth trooper from the Republic and Imperial militaries, respectively. So, there is a few figures I don't have. I have a lot more figures than this, and you will see, because I have figures that are sealed as well. So, if in case you're wondering if it looks complete, if it looks incomplete, then you're fucking wrong, you wannabe smartass. Now, there is two omissions, because I'm not too keen on some figures, so we'll get into those later. So we're going to begin chronologically in the earliest time frame possible, which would be 32 BBY to 22 BBY, which would be the ARC Troopers and the Commandos. So these have came first. These are the Republic Commandos, Omega Squad. So I've reviewed these like too many fucking times. I mean, it's the worst video on the channel currently, I think. So we got Diamond Scarata, we got Core Scarata, not Fee Scarata, alright? Because Fee Scarata suffered brain damage later on the Clone Wars, and I think the delineation between those two characters is important because Hasbro doesn't fucking do the research, and it could be any of the two. You've got 9 Scarata and Atin Scarata. So these figures, I like the old Commando mould, but the new Commando mould would have rendered them superfluous if Hasbro didn't forget to fucking put the correct accessories and armour specifications on the Delta Squad in the Toys R Us packaging, Shadows of the Dark Side Toys R Us exclusive.
You stupid.
Fucking dimwits, aren't they?
No shit.
So they all have a ball-jointed head, respectively, swivel shoulders, ball-jointed elbows, swivel wrists, swivel waist, swivel hips, and nothing. So these are essentially fucking statues. They can't stand. It's a bit like they're inebriated, or they're just very mentally challenged, so pick your poison. Now, they are very good figures, I think. They're very nice display pieces, so let's give you fuckers a shot, a back shot of them, so you can see what they look like from all angles, because I've neglected to do that. I've only shown you the front of them in a lot of videos of mine, which I'm unapologetic for, because go make your fucking own videos. They're probably going to be better than this one. So there we are. There is Omega Squad. So we're going to get nice shot of Diamond Scarata from the back and from the front. Core Scarata from the back and Core Scarata from the front. Nine Scarata from the back. Are you seeing where this is going? And Core Scarata, Nine Scarata, sorry, so sorry, from the front, and Atin Scarata from the back, and Atin Scarata from the front. Now, I think these guys might have something to do with stealth purposes.
Does the Pope shit in the woods?
I don't know. But there's Omega Squad. Now, Omega Squad, knockoff Delta Squad, essentially, in the Karen Travis Republic Commando novels. I like them. They did their own parts, respectively. I mean, one of them, Diamond Scarata, shagged the Jedi, which he shouldn't have done, and I think some of them defected from the Imperial army after Order 66, whereas the majority of Delta Squad did serve in the 501st Legion in the respective Special Operations units. So, now we're going to move on to the Shadow ARC Trooper. Now here is your Shadow ARC Trooper. See, you can see that it's a very detailed figure. It's got Mandalorian insignia. I don't understand some of it. Some of it, I think that is the Death Watch kind of symbol, which Death Watch is Kirit Sard, or it's Death Group, translated from Mandela. So get your fucking act together. Fucking hell. So you can see his camera. Can you see? Can you see? For those who have gone to Specsavers,
I'm blind.
There you go. Can you see now? He has his little ankle straps. He wasn't packed in with that minigun. I just prefer him with that one. It's a preference. I know I'm quite of a Puritan for this kind of stuff. And his head sculpt. Yeah, he kind of looks like he would be the type to perpetrate unwanted sexual advances in a very malicious manner. So there you go, there's his head sculpt. Now, in terms of articulation, you see where this is going. So he's got a ball-jointed head, ball-jointed shoulders, ball-jointed elbows, swivel wrists, swivel waist, swivel hips, ball-jointed knees, and ball-jointed ankles. Was that too fast for you? Don't fucking care. Fucking slow it down. So now we're going to move on to Phase 2. So chronologically, in terms of release dates from Hasbro themselves, we're going to have first the Target exclusive, and I think release and secondary in the 30th anniversary collection Saga Legends line. So there we are. It utilises the 2003 super articulated Phase 1 Clone Trooper mould, but they slapped on a Phase 2 helmet. So that's why he looks a tiny bit physically deformed. And you should know that the 2003 super articulated Clone Trooper mould is a very good and very articulated mold, good posability. Nothing has really rendered it obsolescent since, because fucking hell. Black Series figures look like, they've been in work camps.
Spicy meat.
So, in terms of articulation, because I always say in terms of articulation, are you fed up of me saying in terms of articulation? I don't hear any complaints. So, he's got a ball-jointed head and a ball-jointed shoulders, ball-jointed elbows, swivel wrists, swivel hips, a ball-jointed waist, ball-jointed knees, and ball-jointed ankles. So that's what he looks like from the back. Essentially, it's a repurpose of the 212 Attack Battalion camouflage, markings, just in kind of like this greyish blue and very matte, just shiny, normal black, classic black. Next up, we have this guy, the very, very, very opulent looking, actually, very posh looking, very just detailed covert stormtrooper. That was also released in the Target exclusive Revenge of the Sith line, exclusive single carded set as well. I think it was it was just essentially a single carded figure, I think. Now he has very glossy paint as well. He has very metallic flakes, very shiny metallic flakes. There you go, you can get a very good look at that if it is showing on this fucking iPhone 6 camera, because the production quality of these videos is such a standard that anyone in their fucking basement can do this. Now, apart from his very nice colour scheme going, you can see in between the grey accents that he has kind of like this military camo of light grey and dark grey. So there, his articulation is the 2005 super articulated Clone Trooper mould. I hope you've heard of it. If you haven't fucking heard of it, why are you watching videos about fucking Clone Troopers from 15 years ago?
Fag.
He has a ball-jointed head, ball-jointed shoulders, ball-jointed elbows, swivel hips, ball-jointed knees, ball-jointed ankles, and a ball-jointed waist, which gives him kind of like, oh, whoa, look at that. Yeah. You can get him in, you can reenact the Kama Sutra with it. Yeah, you can, if you're skillful enough. So now we're going to be moving on to the Imperial era after we've covered the two omissions, the ones that I don't have. The Revenge of the Sith line V-Wing pilot. Secondly is the Legacy Collection V-Wing pilot. Now, how you can delineate the two is because, number one, the Revenge of the Sith line does not have a removable helmet, and it only has swivels at the shoulder, the elbows, and swivels at the wrist, I think. Whereas, not just at the swivels at the shoulders and swivels at the elbows. Now, the Legacy Collection Evolutions one has ball joints at the head, ball joint at the torso, ball joint at the elbows, and the shoulders and swivels at the knees, and its apparatus, its breathing apparatus and its helmet are removable. That's how you can tell between the two. So, there you go. Now we're going to be moving on to the Shadow Stormtroopers. Here we are. The one, I think this is the first one that was released. So this is the 30th anniversary collection, and that's its second release. The Saga collection. Not Black Hole Stormtrooper, just Shadow Trooper. Okay, it's a Shadow Stormtrooper. I think it's the one, don't quote me on this, nerds. It's the one where Karna Jax is Shadow Trooper. So I know they look the fucking same. I'm not making any jokes about any particular types of people. They don't look the same at all. But this does look very similar to the one of the other variants that I'll be showing you, and also most of the variants. So this has the Vintage Original Trilogy Collection Stormtrooper mold. Wow. So yeah, it's just a nice articulated mold that is very faithful and very accurate to the Stormtrooper armour. So because of that, he's very articulated, because Hasbro did a very decent job of articulating figures with armour. So he has a ball jointed head, ball jointed shoulders, ball jointed elbows, swivel wrists, ball jointed waist, swivel hips, ball jointed knees, and ball jointed ankles. When am I going to fucking learn this anatomy of fucking figures? Stationary figures. Very nice. Next up, we have the Emperor Palpatine's Shadow Stormtroopers from the commemorative edition, essentially 30th anniversary collection and 2009 Legacy collection. Shadow Stormtroopers from the Force Unleashed, I guess, adaptation of the game in figure form. And these are very accurate because they do have more metallic colours. They have very dark grey and black highlights with red highlights on them. And you can see, yeah, forgive me for knocking that one over, yeah. You can see that the only thing that separates them from the Wii version is that they do not have blue highlights on their visors. So they do not have they don't have absolute likeness to the Wii version. They have very few, even less likeness to the Xbox 360 edition ones, because they have blue highlights and blue visors. So I don't know why the fuck they just made the two visor helmet visor eyepieces black. Next up for the Shadow Stormtroopers is, if you can tell by its lack of opacity, the transitioning Shadow Trooper from the Force Unleashed 5 packs that were in the 2009 Legacy collection. Now, apart from those being ludicrously fucking expensive, and some of the figures just looking downright fucking weird, this one is present in both of those packs. Now, they were Toys R Us exclusives, and this is a really nice figure. It has the blue highlights. They still forgot to put the fucking blue visor eyepieces and the helmet. I don't fucking know why, but why? If you're gonna have the Star Wars license, at least make complete, accurate, 100% faithful adaptations of characters in figure form. Now, this one here, you can tell on his left and right cheek plates, on his hat, on his helmet, there is blue accents. On his torso and forearms, there are blue highlights, and on his lower ankles, there is also blue highlights. Did you know that? Wow. Well, apart from my sarcasm, which is very, 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 very well placed in this video, even more sarcasm, you can tell that they did actually put an effort into it. So you can't really see his joints that well. So that's good, because it doesn't look like a fucking clusterfuck of ball joints. And his articulation is the same as all the others, because it utilises the Vintage Original Trilogy Collection, if I can fucking speak, Stormtrooper mold. Now we have, for the last Shadow Stormtrooper variant, it is the Classic Star Wars Early Adventures Comic Pack 2010 Black Hole Hologram and Stormtrooper. So, let us pick up this iPhone to give you a better look. There is a shot of the Shadow Stormtrooper. It did come in with the Imperial interrogation droid, ITO droid, and here is Lord Blackhole. I wouldn't really want that as an alias, because it either sounds like somewhere you'd end up in Guantanamo Bay, or where someone who is a homosexual would love to be in someone else. Black hole, black hole, black hole, black hole, black hole. So, here is a shot of the comic pack from the back. So say you got like promotions for the other incredibly extortionately priced on second-hand markets like eBay prices. So in the middle, you got this one in the middle. I do not have Foam and Trossar. What a fucking awful name as well. And I do not have XR Kun and Ulic Caldroma. So there you go. That is the last Stormtrooper variant I needed to make this video. So now we'll go on the general specification of Storm Commandos, because there's only one really rank that is named to these Storm Commandos, and that is General Wei. General Wei here has a red bandolier. He has red accents on his kind of like armour plating near the elbows, and a red visor, and the fact that it's removable, the helmet, and that is pretty much the differences between him and the Storm Commander that came packed with him, which we'll look at. So his head sculpt, there we are, there's his head sculpt. Can you get a good look at that? Wow. If any man that looks like this invites you into his white van, please reject or call the authorities immediately, because he might sexually molest you and kill you, because General Wei, apart from looking like a slaphead nonce, isn't the nicest of people anyway in the Star Wars universe. Now we have his companion piece. The repaint, the gloss black repaint of the Scout Trooper mold from the vintage original trilogy collection. Storm Commando that was packed with him in the Walmart exclusive Star Wars Rogue Squadron comic series legacy comic pack. Now his articulation is the same as General Wei's articulation, which I have not mentioned as well before we start whinging in the comment section. Is ball jointed head, ball jointed shoulders, ball jointed elbow, swivel wrists, or swivel forearms. Take your choice, because the articulation point is higher up. He has a ball jointed waist, I guess, swivel hips, ball jointed knees, and ball jointed ankles. So they are pretty much as articulated as most Clone Trooper and Scout Trooper and Stormtrooper figures that you'll get. Here we have the San Diego Comic Con exclusive. Wow, exclusive. Doesn't that make it sound really good? Well, they've been shit recently, obviously, pretty much everything. The Shadow Biker Scout, but it should be classified as a Storm Commando, because there's no quantitative difference between the two. So
why is it okay for women to say, oh, you're 5 feet on dating sites? You should be dead?
Unless some fucker wants to tell me that, I'm still not going to accept it, because I'm never wrong. Now, he has matte black colour schemes. Now, whereas the previous one had a silver visor, this one just has a black visor, a silver Imperial logo on his left breastplate and his upper breast area, well, pectoral area, coming up into his shoulder, and pretty much that is it. Finally, in terms of Storm Commandos, we have the Evolutions. Clone Commandos 2009 Legacy Collection Storm Commando. Now this one is my personal favourite, because there is actual differences, there is substantive difference between that and the fucking free repaints and remold, no, not even remolds, just repaints of fucking Scout Trooper figures. This one has a different head sculpt. If you can see, there we are. Got a good look in there. He has different holsters. He has holsters, and they're not on his right ankle. Different weapons. One is a scope pistol. One is a very small pistol. Here's a good look at the scope pistol. I'm not getting the smaller pistol out because I can't be arsed. So look it up yourself, nonces. Anyone, just look it up yourself as well. Now, also another one that other videos that are covering stealth troopers have neglected to mention, even though it's not necessarily classified as a stealth role, the Dark Trooper. Now, this was also in the expanded universe. If you've never played Dark Forces, I think that's a game, yeah. Cal Katarn, definitely not a Han Solo knockoff, and definitely not ridiculously overpowered and boring because he never fucking does anything wrong, and he's a Jedi, and also he's a Dark Jedi, and also essentially. This suit was a kind of an amalgamation between a animatronic suit, a robotic suit, and a human suit, and it was designed to make the stormtrooper armor superfluous. It was meant to make it obsolescent. It was its replacement, and because the Empire is like Nazi Germany, they didn't know it was going to cost too much fucking money because they're insane madman lunatics, essentially. How the fuck are you going to get every single average GI of the Empire in this fucking suit of armour, 7 foot tall, fucking big, massive grey, fucking hulking armour? Now, it has a jetpack and a gold blaster. I think it's a flechette launcher. He has hidden missile ports under his finger. Wow, who fucking cares? So his articulation is just a swivel head, swivel shoulders, swivel waist, and swivel hips. Not much range on his articulation because of the sculpting. So really it's just a statue, but it's good. It's a nice figure if you ever wanted one. Now there is a Build-A-Droid Legacy Collection edition from the kind of like Droid Factory collecting thing that I had going on in the 2009 Legacy Collection, and that's really the definitive Dark Trooper. I only have the not the Power of the Force, the 30th Anniversary Collection, possible re-release of it. Now, the last one before we get into a sealed set that you've seen before is here is the Shadow Guard. So do I need to say more? He is just a repaint of a Imperial Guard. I'm
No shit!
not sure which line it comes from. Decent articulation, ball jointed shoulders, swivel wrists, swivel elbows, ball jointed knees, and swivel waist, swivel hips. He can't move his head. He has armour detailing underneath his cloak. You can see, let's get a good look at that. And he has a pistol holster on his right thigh. On his right side of his right thigh. Yeah. Hope that was descriptive enough for you. They forgot to put in a bulge in his crotch area, so no. There's your attention to detail. Now, last but not least, I know it's a bit chronologically incongruent with the theme of this, kind of like the progression of this video, is the Shadow Troopers set. That was the Jedi Con exclusive 2008 Order 66 set, essentially. Now, that uses the Commander Vil mold, Commander Fire, Revolution set trooper from the Revenge of the Sith line. It's got decent articulation, ball jointed head, ball jointed shoulder, ball jointed elbow, swivel wrists, swivel waist, swivel hips, ball jointed knees, and ball jointed ankles. And that's the ancillary trooper that comes with it is the Revenge of the Sith Super Articulated 2005 mold. So I hope you enjoyed. I fucking doubt that. This video's been fucking awful. But if you are interested in sadomasochistic pain of watching videos, I am getting back into them. So I think the next video is going to be the 91st Reconnaissance Corps. So see you then, fags. Just a real...
On YouTube, everybody should subscribe.
Come the reciter, all-nighter, all-writer.